There's a power within you. It lifts your life to its highest level. It brings happiness, companionship, health, and peace of mind. As you tap into this power, it will respond to you because this power is within you. And that's why spirituality rocks. Welcome to this episode where we are looking at resultant energy healers and global change agents. I'm delighted to present to you today Ellen Krotka. She will be joining us from Skype from Connecticut. And we have in the studio, I will introduce you to our guests, Dr. Chung, Brad Fortinsky, and my co-host Cheryl Mchunguzi. In the meantime, I'd like you to know that the world is undergoing a rapid spiritual transformation. And by watching Spirituality Rocks, you will ignite your inner power and you will expand your consciousness and you'll be inspired by nationally renowned New Thought teachers. And so New Thought teachers, there's one ultimate loving energy in the universe, one presence and power that expresses in you, through you, and as you. As opposed to New Age. New Age teaches more about tools that you can use to have transformation. We teach that the only tool you need is anything that's within you. Affirmations, affirmative prayer, meditation, that you can directly connect to that one loving energy, whatever you choose to call it, God, Spirit, infinite intelligence. And we believe in an abundant, unlimited universe. We believe that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. So if you want to learn more about New Thought, you can check it out by going to newthought.org, and you can learn more about the affiliated New Thought Network, of which I'm a member, and this whole idea of New Thought. And at the end of the show, there'll be a whole long banner of lots of links that you can check out. What I'd like you to know right now is we have for you these delightful little affirmation cards. And what they are for Spirituality Rocks. They're used for you to empower yourself with positive affirmations. You can give them to your friends. We're happy to give them to you by merely sending us a self-addressed stamped envelope. Send that to us and we'll pop some of these in the mail. We're happy to give them to you. We also have this CD that I put together. It's called Tunes for Transformation, and it's affirmations put to music. When I used to be the leader of a spiritual community, I would give affirmations each week, and in order for the people to embody them, I put them to music. And after many, many requests, I finally recorded them, and I'm proud to say that this is endorsed by Deepak Chopra, who really likes the affirmations because he thinks that they're delivered in a fresh, uplifting, and inspired way. And so, let's get busy. I'd like to introduce to you my co-host. In the studio we have with me, this is Cheryl Mchunguzi. Welcome to the show, Cheryl.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
If you want to check out Cheryl Mchunguzi, you've seen her husband, Reverend Saba, on the show many times, and that web address is unityhuntingtonnewyork.org. Unity Huntington, New York.
That's correct.
Excellent.
Yes. We have services at 11 o'clock on Sundays and prayer meeting on Wednesday evenings starting at 7 o'clock.
And that's on Long Island. And I was telling our guests that our show is actually an international show, which is very exciting. But if you happen to be on Long Island, you can check it out because it's right in Huntington. And we also there's a Center for Spiritual Living in Hicksville. And you can check that out by going to csl.org. And so what spiritual truth or idea has been circulating in your mind lately?
Well, transformational change.
Okay.
Things that move you from one part of your life to the next. It is happening all around people right now. Things are happening that they never expect. There's miracles happening. People are really transforming their limitations and moving toward their true being. So this is what's been on my mind. And today, just coming here, two of my friends just told me some fantabulous things about themselves, how they were able to move from a limited consciousness to a higher state of being.
So limited awareness, away from negative thoughts and doubts and fears to a higher state of being, meaning?
That you can transform yourself from whatever place that you are to the highest point in yourself through tools, just like tools like you nail a board into your house. There's things that you can do to try to move yourself from one state of consciousness to the next.
Okay.
Through affirmative prayer, through consistent spiritual uplifting meditations and affirmations, and as we're going to hear this evening about essential oils, how that can move you. So there's things that you can do, and when you practice it, it works if you work it.
It works if you work it. So what I want to talk about right now, there's a wonderful website. It's Facebook. And on Facebook, there's one of the pages is called Revolution by Light. Right. Revolution by Light. And in the Bible, if you read the beginning of the Bible, it says, let there be light. And so Revolution by Light is about visualizing light. Actually visualizing light above your head and imagining it streaming down into your body and filling your whole body and then radiating out. And so then you are to visualize this for 7 minutes in the morning and 7 minutes in the evening. And this affords you the opportunity to slow down the physiology, but it's a wonderful healing meditation that you can use.
Right away.
Yeah, have you heard of that one?
I have that. I think that I've been to some of those guided meditations, and I have to tell you that by doing it, by actually centering yourself and envisioning that light, it does empower you. It stills you, and you become peaceful, and then you're open and receptive to the ideas that the universe has for you.
And you know what? And it's not difficult to do at all.
Anyone can do it.
Anybody can do it.
Anybody.
And what I like about Revolution of Light on Facebook is it actually gives you a visual. You can click on, and they show a visual where there's a cloud of light above you, and it comes down like that. And then you just visualize it in your body and then allow it to radiate out. And that's fantastic.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
To try it.
Yeah.
To do it.
Good.
Yeah.
So what are other techniques that you use?
Well, I am also a Reiki master, so I do a lot of energy work in terms of focusing on myself, my inner being, the light that you talked about, in terms of focusing on certain symbols that we know in Reiki in order to bring about energy, healing energy, whether it's long distance healing or self-healing.
Yeah. We just switched cameras. That's our camera.
All right.
Okay, so what exactly is Reiki?
Reiki is a healing modality that is part of the universal energy. It doesn't have a religion. It doesn't mean you have to be of a certain religion or a certain faith or nationality in order to receive Reiki healing. It just is the universal healing, similar to what they say Jesus Christ used when he was doing healing. And it's a hands-on off modality that you don't really have to put your hands on anyone in order to feel that Reiki energy. And it's radiated through certain chakra points in your body, certain energy levels in your body, and that energy goes where it needs to go. So you are just the vehicle in which it expresses, but that energy goes into the healing to where it needs to go.
Oh, fantastic. So then included in that is intention, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. Everything that you do in terms of healing work has to have an intention. You have to set the intention of what it is that you're trying to project. If you're projecting healing or light or healing, etc., then that is your intention. You have to set that in order for anything to really be effective.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Well, good. Well, we have a pretty exciting show today.
Yes, we do.
We have with us on Skype Ellen Kratka, and Ellen, we're calling her a global change agent, as we are our guests in the studio, Brad Fortensky and Dr. Nane Chung. And so what we'll do is let's take a commercial break. Don't go too far, and we'll be right back with, are you ready?
Yes.
Spirituality rocks.
Peacefully, joyfully, I am divinely guided. Peacefully, joyfully.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have 2 practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our 2 offices. Thank you.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act One will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. I'm your host, Janine Burns, and I'm excited about this show today because what we are talking about are global change agents and their methods of healing. In the studio with me is my co-host today, and this is Cheryl Mchunguzi. Cheryl is with the Unity Church in Huntington, and Cheryl met our guests at Unity.
That's correct. Unity Church of Healing Light. And we really try to magnify our name there in terms of really understanding where healing really begins. And I met these wonderful people that become, my brothers and sisters in the global change business.
Well, let's introduce them. We have right here with us is Brad Fortensky. Welcome to Spirituality Rocks.
Thank you, Janine. It's a real pleasure.
Great to have you. And Dr. Nanae Chung is with us.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Now, you're both with this organization called Heal School of One. Could we start with your credentials? Can we go first with you? Tell us some credentials.
I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I have a master's in clinical nutrition and a diplomate in clinical nutrition. Excuse me, and I'm in private practice for 30 years.
Fantastic. All right, wonderful. And Brad?
Well, my background started really at birth and being brought up into this idea of New Thought through my parents and my mom, and working in this modality for most of my life. So I was very present and did a lot of work with the Love Center on Long Island, and it's just been my life. And the credentials are really part of that oneness that we're talking about, that light. So that's where I'm moving on the credentials.
Terrific. So tell us about Heal School of One. It's an organization that is located, they have their spaces in the Unity Church in Huntington, Long Island. Tell us about your work.
Well, it pretty much started in my backyard. We would gather together and talk philosophically, and it was, really a meeting of the minds. And Heals was really developed last summer. So it was the end of June 2013, and HEAL stands for Health Through Education, Actualization, Love, and Self-Realization.
So it's an acronym.
It's an acronym.
Okay.
And School of One. So it was really the coming together of a lot of different philosophies and trains of thought, bringing in clinical health in terms of being private practitioners, working with spirituality, working with mindfulness, working with how people would meditate, levels of compassion, love, and actualization. So it was bringing it all together, and it was kind of a miraculous undertaking.
Brainchild, isn't it?
It was a, it was
A brainchild?
But
Yes,
part of what
yeah.
happened was as we met, and there was a real connection that we had similar goals and similar ideas, and this idea of thought recognition and action with spirituality, and not not so much teaching and putting the light around you, but to start to eternalize and start to create and start to express the divinity within yourself. And we both stumbled on each other, and we have the same ideas. We want to do the same thing. We want to go the same place, and it just took off.
So that's your goal and your intention is to teach people about the divinity within?
Absolutely, absolutely. When I first started into the spiritual work, everybody was talking about, surround yourself with the light and protect yourself. You protect yourself, and when you get to that point and it bangs you on the head and you realize that you don't have to put it around you, it's inside you and it radiates out. So once you start become a radiant being, a divine presence of power, of spiritual power, there's nothing you can't do anymore.
So
You can change and transform every aspect of from a cellular level to a level of service. And that's kind of where we're at, is to bring people into a place where they're comfortable, they're tranquil, they're peaceful spiritually, and they're starting to spread the service, because we know it happens one-on-one, and it spreads.
Right. Okay, so, but what you're talking about, we already are that. So you're talking about having an
Becoming aware because of
becoming
the
aware.
unconscious lifestyle. We get into routines, and routines become redundant, and we become unconscious.
Okay.
We wake up, we move, we go to work. We don't even think about what we're doing, where we're going, and how we're doing it. We just do it because that's what we do. We're brought up into belief systems of thought. This is the way you think. This is the way your parents thought. This is the way your grandparents thought. But there's a whole beautiful other side of you, this conscious, wow, I'm starting to feel this. This is me. I don't have to accept that thought. Let me look at it. Let's reason with it. Let's meditate on it. What are you feeling? So HEALS is a process to start meditating, to start securing that self within yourself and start to express something that you might not have yet to express.
What I'm hearing through this is a perennial theme, is that you have the power within you to really change. And there are practical applications that you can use in order to bring these about. So instead of looking from the outside of ourselves saying something else has to happen outside for me to feel better or to do better or to change my life, you have the power within.
You need to make a change within.
Yes, you
Yeah.
need to make that conscious decision, that intent for yourself to bring about those changes. And that's what I think we
Yeah.
trying to do at HEAL.
Yeah. My application more clinically and medically, health-wise, is that when I actually, I have a journey because I studied with Eric Butterworth, or I used to listen to him at Avery Fisher Hall
So Eric
many years
Butterworth,
ago.
yeah, for people who don't know who Eric Butterworth is, Eric Butterworth, very famous Unity teacher, and he wrote a fantastic book called Discover the Power Within You. Many, many books, but he's a famous Unity teacher, Eric Butterworth.
Yeah.
And you
And, well, he would attract 3,000 people on a Sunday morning.
Uh-huh.
So all walks of life in New York City, and everyone would gather, listen to him. His wife, Olga, would lead a meditation. And at the end of it, everybody holding hands really powerfully, singing Let There Be Peace on Earth.
wow,
So it was a really
3,000
incredible
people connecting and holding
connecting
hands?
and holding hands
Yahoo!
in the middle of Manhattan.
Wow.
But for me, my journey really began in my clinical practice with people diagnosed with AIDS.
Okay.
And so I saw that transmission where setting the intention of being healthy, even though they were told they had 3 months to live, that they could actually effectively change their lives by, working with meditation, working with affirmation, working with a sound clinical nutritional program. So that was my eye-opening spirituality and my journey into how you could really activate your own health and well-being, even if you were told you were going to die of cancer and AIDS and any kind of immune compromise. So it really changed my whole clinical thinking through spirituality, and I've always really carried that through my practice.
Wow. So then while you were doing your medical practice, you would introduce people to spiritual thought,
Concepts.
spiritual concepts.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say, as part of my writing instructions, my clinical, take vitamin D, eat your protein and follow this program, be sure to meditate 10 minutes twice a day. And these are the affirmations. So I would actually use a lot of the Louise Hay affirmations. I'm willing to change.
Okay.
I'm willing to release. And I'm willing to magnetize and attract to myself, great good health. I have an increased good immune system. So that really became the journey. And people loved it, and they effectively changed their lives and changed their health.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Because we know what we are. You are what you think about all day long.
Yeah, you are
Okay,
what you
we
think
think
about
about
all
all
day
day
long.
long.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful way to help people who are in marginalized situations, whether it's emotional, whether it's health-wise, begin to change their thinking so they can attract, the law of attraction.
And
Yes,
part of
right?
what you said with the affirmations is absolutely critical, because when you use these affirmations daily, in the morning and at night, your conscious mind is now talking to a place within you. And the more you do it, it becomes now a very positive, repetitive action. And your subconscious starts to believe that I'm a beautiful person, that I'm loved,
Love and loving.
and I'm meaningful. And you just change. It's just a beautiful thing to see and watch happen. And that's what we want to do in people's homes on a one-to-one basis. We do it on a group level, and we do it on a work level, bringing it to corporate and offices. And just if you can reach that one person with that little spark, it's just very humbling and very wonderful. So we enjoy it. Yeah.
It's just like a ripple effect, Janine. It happens, you put a pebble in, and then begins to affect everything around it. And so when one person is able to see their true potential, then they affect everybody and everybody they come in contact with.
Absolutely. Well, there's a Bible quote, if I be lifted up, shall add all men unto me. So when we're lifted up in consciousness, it actually we spoke about that last week. Dr. Judith Kravitz, she called it entrainment, which is a word that not a lot of people were familiar with, according to Dr. Judith. And she said that she talked about if there's an energy here and an energy here, this energy will be brought up to the higher level of energy. And she called that entrainment. So I'd like to look at this idea of self-realization, because that, I think, is what you're really talking about, is self-realization. And I see that there's everything here. You work with affirmation, you work with visualization, Tai Chi, Qigong, restorative yoga, and on and on. Tell me more about that.
Well, the classes, we have a rather eclectic mix of classes. So we've done things on spectrum of autism, where we've educated people about vaccinations, we've educated people about clinical nutrition, detoxification programs. We've done things on energy medicine, intuitive development. So we've done African drumming workshops and classes.
And you've begun to record these.
We started working with YouTube, actually.
Yeah,
where
well,
we're doing one-on-one.
That's how people find it, yeah.
Yeah.
Record it and put it on YouTube.
And partly, part of our dialogue with Brad and I is almost like, what's the yin and the yang, the male and female? Because we don't always have the same vision. We usually come to the same end
Agreement.
point, agreement with it, but we have a different perspective completely, and Cheryl has a different perspective and you do too. So it really kind of adds into the mix and the excitement and the eclectic atmosphere. So, there's something there for everybody.
And yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Part of the self-realization process is a really beautiful thing to watch unfold, because so many of us are caught in these ideas and thoughts and we're living the way we've been taught to live. And that is good if it's in a positive and a great way, but a lot of people we're finding are in broken homes, having drug problems, having habitual problems, and it's what they grew up with, it's what they've seen. So when you bring these people into a place where they start to realize that they love themselves, that there's a divine love waiting to attach to that love.
I mean, as they're willing to love
Oh,
themselves,
yes.
as they
Yes.
practice.
Right,
Okay.
right. It's just this self-realization starts. And if you look at most people who are, and I see a lot of people and I talk to a lot of people, and you know, when you feel someone's energy and they're all encompassed in that self-realization of love, and they're when you speak with them, you can feel it. They're giving it to you. It's just a wonderful place to be. So when you get to that place of self-realization, you start to become who you really are. And a lot of people, and I know in myself, there was a point in my life I really didn't know who I was. I had to come to divinity and love and express this self-realization, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, we have the web address is Heals-School of One. Heals School of One. We'll put that up on the screen for you. Heals School of One. And I just have another question before we go to commercial break. And so the acronym is Health, Education, Actualization, and Self-Realization.
Love and self-realization.
Oh, I can spell. I know I can spell. I'm a really good speller. Love and
Don't forget
self-actualization.
love.
So that's what you were just really talking about when you were talking about love. And we know that the love, God is love. The Bible, it's the only place the Bible defines God. It says God is love. But this idea of self-actualization, I love this idea that when I was reading about it, you know, classes on sound therapy, expression through writing, and aging with grace, ease, flexibility, everything from post-traumatic stress and on and on. I think that's absolutely fantastic. For people who are local, who are in the Long Island community, they can check this out, www.heals-School of One. How about, tell us about the work you're beginning to travel around the United States?
Well, we're starting to actually promote ourselves initially through Unity, different Unity churches, and giving workshops and classes, and then through that, actually one-on-one consultations. So we also have a program which is Heals for Home, where we can actually go into a family or, you know, family unit in the home, and Brad will assess environmental, you know, mold, mildew. I will assess, you know, more biochemical, clinical, nutrition, and how to bring a balance into everyone's home, because, you know, it's what you think, but it's also what you eat, what you're breathing in the home, the colors of the home. So that would be Heals for Home. And then we're also doing Heals for Work and doing workshops and classes for, you know, empowering employees, working with inspiration.
Oh,
With
fantastic.
all that. And actually teaching mindfulness, which I think is really
Oh,
just getting people to stay in the moment
Yeah,
becomes the most
every
important.
week, I think every week on the show, people have been talking about mindfulness. It's so popular. So again, the website is www.heals, Heals-schoolofone.com, healsschoolofone.com. Well, I just want to thank you so much, Brad Fratansky,
you,
Dr.
Sharon.
Donna Chung. Thank you
you.
for being with us on
Thank you.
Spirituality Rocks. Pleasure to have you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much. Don't go far. We'll be right back with more of Spirituality Rocks.
Old Spice body spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face.
Goodbye.
Oh no! It's like power.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Oh, Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power. It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
Try this routine to feel fresh and clean. Pair Charmin Fresh Mates with your Charmin.
Oh, Old Spice body spray is too powerful to stay in its own commercial. That's right. Power! Old Spice body spray can change a regular smelling man into a man who smells like power!
Now, how is this? Wow, you know what? I actually do feel more powerful.
Potato chips! Power! It's me.
Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware.
We have 3 of the largest showrooms of safes on display and in stock. You can see and touch them in person instead of browsing a catalog. We carry gun and rifle safes, burglary safes, jewelry safes, fire rated from a half hour to 2 hour. Famous name brands.
We sell Gardol.
We sell AMSAC. The new AMSAC touchscreen.
If you're ever in need of a safe, think Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware. Right, Lockie?
That's right, Alan.
I am Tom Mealy for the Harrison Law Group, and I have been telling you for years that getting involved in an automobile accident is no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. If you've been involved in an accident of any kind, and you go to a law firm that says you have no case, it's simple. It's because they can't do it and they don't get it. You need to call us directly at 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. I'm your host, Dr. Janine Burns, and I teach practical spirituality. And along that lines, I teach what's called New Thought. You can check it out by going to newthought.org. And also at the end of the show, there'll be plenty of banners where you can see other places you can learn more about this spiritual philosophy that is truly practical spirituality. But right now, I'm very excited to present someone who I just admire so much. I've worked with her personally, and she calls herself a resultant because she's someone who gets results with her work. We're going to talk more about her work as a global change agent. Welcome to the show, Ellen Crockta. Welcome to Spirituality Rocks.
Thank you, Jen. Great to be here.
And your website is called resultsbeyondbelief.com.
Yes.
Resultsbeyondbelief.com. Tell us a bit about your work and what you do.
Sure. My work is based on the idea, and the group has been talking about this a little bit. The way I would put it is that you experience and you create whatever you are in energetic alignment with. And that energetic alignment can be on many different levels. There's body, mind, and spirit, and we have different aspects of our being. And in order to create, in order to have the kind of experience you want, in order to live your full potential of who you are and be that loving being in the world, you need to be in energetic alignment with or vibrating along the same lines, the same frequency as what you want to have in your life and what you want to do and be. So what I do very simply is to feel into your energy and find what you are in alignment with and what you're not in alignment with. And then I also use what's called an insight, which is based on feeling, perception, and intuition to see very quickly, or to sense, to feel and experience very quickly what are the causes for the lack of alignment, or what I call energetic weakness. And then once the causes are identified, your being has the ability to reconfigure your energy to let go of the old, the effects of the old, the things that have been weakening you, and return you to a state of strength, which means flow and wellness and good feeling and, and being in alignment with what you want.
Wow.
So we're simply identifying things, we're acknowledging things that have not been recognized or acknowledged before in your experience, and then your divine nature takes over and returns you to the original template, let's say.
Okay.
And so that's how the change happens. And what I do is primarily based on something called UN method, Y-U-E-N.
Okay.
If anyone wants to Google it. I'm a UN method master. I do, as you know, Janine, other modalities as well, including the healing codes. UN method is the primary modality I'm using right now because I find it to be so fast and effective. I can get instant results of change with people on the spot.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing.
And that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a mouthful.
Okay. I like to go back because I had like 10 questions on the in-between. I don't know if you had any questions, but I had 10 questions on the in-between. So what I heard you say in the very beginning was that I doing affirmations saying, let's say, I am prosperous, I am, I have plenty of money to share and to spare, but energetically, I may not be in alignment with that mindset. And so then what I'm creating in my life is the outcome of the energetic space. Let's look at that for a second.
Yeah, so if underneath that statement, because an affirmation can be on a superficial level, it can just be a statement. So if underneath the statement, if you're saying that, but your body is saying, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, then that's what's going to manifest in your life. You're not going to, you can say, I'm a millionaire a million times over, but if you're not in full harmony with that and vibrating at that frequency, then it's not going to get created. So when somebody, and that's a very good example of how I work, because I work with physical challenges, and I work with relationships, and I work with money and any other areas of life. So if somebody tells me, and this happened this morning, I want to have more money coming in from what I'm doing, I feel into where they are energetically and what's stopping them from getting that. So he could say a million times over, I'm going to be a big success, but it wasn't happening, and it wasn't going to happen until we found those core, the reasons for what was holding that in place and cleared those things. And it was very quick as we found them, because it's really just acknowledging them, and then there's an immediate change. But yeah, you have to find what's really going on.
Okay, I know. I know you. I have I can speak clearly.
Yes, you
can. It's just so intense. So I know I called you about 2 weeks ago. I cracked my head, but good, and ended up getting a concussion. And I called you. We made an appointment, and I know that you were sending healing energy to me because I could just literally feel it, because I was dazed. And we teach in New Thought that for everything in the physical manifest universe, it's preceded by a thought. And so you identified a thought pattern from, 15 years ago that would you say that I was stuck in, or how would you describe that?
Yeah, that you were still holding on a certain level of your being. So absolutely, I would say that consciousness precedes energy and precedes creation.
Right.
And so we form ourselves from our consciousness, and the consciousness has many contributing factors to it. And the consciousness then gets manifest at the level all the way from our total being down to beyond our quantum particles. So at every level, you can be holding those thoughts, but they may not be conscious thoughts. They could be subconscious or non-conscious thoughts, meaning that it's a level of consciousness that you are holding that's affecting you.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Do you have a question, Cheryl?
Yeah. Now, I have a question, because what you're talking about can be instantaneous. I'm a therapist, so when I'm working with people, sometimes I see things. Sometimes it can be weeks before someone actually gets that realization themselves that part of what is going on, they are the catalyst for that change. So I'm curious how it is that the energetic work can happen so expeditiously in terms of bringing that information to the surface.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great question. There's a number of different factors. I'll just give the two main ones. So one is that there has to be a clear intention to shift that. So like a clear seeing and a holding the intention without contradicting it, without watering it down. And that can happen. It may happen with the conscious participation of the other person. It can also happen subconsciously. I've done this telepathically with people as well. Another factor, though, is that you may have seen a particular cause, and that cause, through that acknowledgement, may have actually dissolved, but there may have been other layers that were holding the whole thing in place. So when there's a problem, a problem could just have one factor, or it could have thousands of factors. And so it's a matter of, finding them and taking the layers off and finding all the relationships and, getting to the point where what I feel literally is the whole pattern collapses. And that takes whatever it takes. With some people, it's going to happen very quickly, and with other people, they have to go through a number
one of the analogies I use in terms of working with people when I start is that it's like a ball of yarn you are, and that every ball of yarn has a knot. And so when you're unrailing yourself and really getting to the core of things, you'll get to these knots, but the knot connects to something else. And as you get rid of that, you're connected to something else, and you continue to release yourself.
Yeah.
That's just fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Great analogy.
Yeah.
Ellen also does something called the Healing Codes, which is quite popular. And I've worked with Ellen regarding that. You can easily check that out on the internet, The Healing Codes, and see the book by Alex Lloyd. Tell us about the Healing Codes a bit, please.
The Healing Codes is a modality that actually, there is a transmission of energy involved, which is not the same as what I'm doing with UN Method. So you're using your fingers to transmit energy into different centers of the brain while you are holding a specific intention. And the system is based on, let's say, the core spiritual virtues. So you're looking for how issues in your life are connected to, for example, a lack of love or a lack of trust, kindness, goodness, patience. It's based on a very old and basic system of what are the essential divine qualities or spiritual virtues. And so you're looking at your issues through the lens of that, and then intending the change you want and transmitting energy to support that. So it can be very helpful for people to do that, because when they're sitting and transmitting energy, which I'm sure Cheryl knows from the Reiki work, and your two other guests know from the kinds of work they do, that when when people relax and allow the process to happen, whether it's in a meditative state or just enjoying the flow of energy, then they really let go of the mental side of things and allow the innate intelligence to go to work on the problem and the sources of the problem. So that's really a lot of the key, and for a lot of people, the Healing Codes is a way to do that. My feeling is that that process or that kind of tool is secondary to or supplemental to what's really going on, which is that the innate intelligence is finding the sources and clearing them. But it does feel great, and it is supportive to be sending energy in that way to let it's really the centers, the master glands of the brain are, sending energy and instructions to the rest of the body.
Yeah. Awesome. That's fantastic. So the Healing Codes, it's again time for another commercial break. So I'm going to invite everybody, don't go too far. You ready? Because we'll be back in just a little while with more of Spirituality Rocks.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with a computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this, you'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh, trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue Tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
YesWeCare.net is a 501c3 charity that provides help to veterans and their families. Please visit YesWeCare.net and donate in any way you can by purchasing our beautiful frame prints or relaxation CDs and DVDs, even smooth jazz CDs. YesWeCare.net. Remember, our troops are on their way home. They need all the support they can get. YesWeCare.net.
Welcome back to Spirituality Rocks. I'm your host, Dr. Janine Burns. We have a very exciting show today. We are talking about global change agents. In the studio, we have Cheryl Mchunguzi, Unity Church of Healing Light, Brad Fortinsky, Dr. Nane Chung from Heal School of One, www.heals-schoolofone.com. And with us on Skype is Ellen Korotka. You can check out Ellen by going to resultsbeyondbelief.com. And what I love about Ellen's work, and one of the things I just really admire, is that a lot of times I'm a little suspicious when people are doing healing work that of their intentions. Ellen gives away a free session. Ellen will do a free session with you for you to check out. And I've worked with Ellen. I've called her. And she'll say, oh, don't worry about the money, Janine. I mean, of course, I'm going to pay her, but that's not the priority. The priority is the healing. The priority is in the work, and I respect that so much. Now, you do the Ewan method. And I know I started to study that with you, but I got distracted with some changes in my life. So I didn't complete the course, but it was fascinating. If anybody wants to Google it, Ewan is spelled Y-U-E-N. But I advise you to go to resultsbeyondbelief.com and check it out. Tell everybody all about that Ewan method.
Yeah, well, Dr. Ewan is amazing. He's sort of like an old rock star. If you can see videos of him in operation on YouTube where he's doing demos, and they're the kind of thing of, it's very often on the spot, immediate relief. So somebody will come to him with a pain, and he'll say, okay, it's this, this, and this. How does it feel now? And the pain will be gone. So that's what I've been learning to do. It's a wonderful system, which is a combination of his understanding of, he actually started out as a chiropractor, so an understanding of chiropractic and anatomy, quantum physics, how the energy or chi of the body works. Many, many things have gone into the system, and it's one of the most comprehensive systems of understanding how energy and consciousness work that I've ever seen. There's a number of unique things that he does working with the geometry of energy and relationships and working with physical potential. So there are he brings together a lot of different fields, right. And so I found it to be very effective.
Yeah. Now, we have 4 or 5 minutes. Would you be willing to give a demonstration of one of the healing methods to Cheryl?
A willing participant.
Cheryl wants that?
Yes, no, I checked because I checked with you, and I also checked with Cheryl. So everybody's in. Are you still in?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, so you need to tell me what you would like some improvement on, Cheryl. If something's bothering you, or what's going on.
I would say maybe just increase my energy level right now. It's a lot of things going on, and it requires my focus. So I would say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's perfect, because what I was picking up about you when I tuned in was that your area of greatest weakness is actually fitness. And we tend to think of fitness as kind of a minor aspect of life, but within the UN method, it's actually thought to be more central than other things we think of as health. Because fitness is really about our functionality. And all of the chemical stuff, how's your nutrition, how's this bit of biochemistry going, is really secondary to your overall physical intelligence, your structure and your structural integration, and your fitness. Those are the three central things. So I was getting that your fitness could be stronger. And the main thing that's coming up in fitness, because there can be body, mind, or spirit fitness, and I'm getting that the biggest weakness for you is on the spiritual, just in this sense, really just meaning the non-conscious awareness, something that's embedded. You can think of it as coming from another time, space, or dimension, perhaps another lifetime, or some way that it's gotten embedded in your energy field and not in your conscious awareness.
So not me, right?
And the main, the weakest aspect of fitness for you in this case is flexibility. So we can call that spiritual flexibility. And again, that it really doesn't mean that you're not a spiritually open or flexible person. It means that you have mental inflexibility that came from a long time ago that's embedded in your spirit and is affecting you in a way that's weakening you. So what we're going to do, and just so everyone knows, there's 6 different aspects of fitness. There's speed, strength, endurance, coordination, agility, and flexibility. So flexibility is the weakest one, and that's what we're going to do right now since we only have a couple of minutes. So what I'm doing is just communicating with your entire being to strengthen you on the spiritual level to flexibility. So we just increased your flexibility just by acknowledging that. It increased 15 times over what it was before. So just notice, kind of take a breath and notice in your body and in your being right now if you feel anything different from how you felt before. Not thinking about it, just kind of feeling into your body. You may experience it as a little more relaxation, a little more flow, a little more lightness. And if you don't, it's fine. I can do a few more things, but I like to kind of check in every once in a while and see how you're doing.
I'm kind of not feeling anything different. Kind of now, I'm not feeling anything different.
Okay.
I'm hearing something different, but I'm not feeling the difference.
All right. The next thing that I'm getting that would be useful for you, and this is really on a physical level, I do something called strengthening the geometric foundation. And if you think of yourself as a house, we have a structure, and there's an inside and there's an outside, and then there's all the walls and all of the corners and the roof, and all of that needs to be strong. So the next thing I'm picking up that's the greatest weakness for you is your overall geometric foundation. So what I'm doing is strengthening your internal dynamics so that you can feel really solid and strong and safe within yourself. Okay, so now that's been strengthened, and that's actually, again, if I were to test for a number, I'm getting that's about 12 times stronger than it was before. And I'm also going to do something that most people don't understand. Most people think that we need to relax more, but actually on a physical level, we need more tension or tone within our bodies. Which is why after we've been sitting all day, it feels so great to go outside and do some movement, go for a run or dance or move, because our bodies need that. And if we relax too much, we start to atrophy and deteriorate, and actually it can end up putting too much pressure on the heart, because the heart then has to take up the burden of the tension. And also we get too much into our minds, so we get out of balance. We want the body to be as strong as the mind. So that's the next thing that we're doing right now, is strengthening your body in relation to your mind. And Janine, let me know if we need to stop. So now you're more in your body than you were before, and we're also going to strengthen your spirit so that your body, mind, and spirit can be even with each other.
Okay.
All right, so that's a little bit of an example.
We have another minute.
So how are you doing right now? How are you feeling?
What I'm feeling is in my limbs, I'm feeling increased energy. Say, my hands, I guess in my chakra points actually. Some in my knees, some in my ankles, my hands, around my eyes. I'm feeling energy.
Yeah, great. There's a lot of energy flow going on in your body right now, and all of the chakras are open, and you're experiencing that you're more in your center, and and that's radiating out. So you're sensing that, and that's wonderful. So yeah probably enough for now.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, if you want to learn more about Ellen's work, you can check out resultsbeyondbelief.com. Ellen, I'm so delighted that you're with us on Spirituality Rocks, and I know I'll be talking to you next week. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Janine,
Thank
and
you.
everyone. It was really a pleasure. I really enjoyed this.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
And I'd like to tell the viewers about next week's show. Dennis Merritt Jones. Dennis Merritt Jones is one of the leading New Thought teachers, lecturers. He has this book called Your Redefining Moments. So it's your defining moments, but he puts re in parentheses. Your redefining moments. He's going to be with us. He's launching his new book. I'm very excited about that. So be with us next week. Tell your friends to check us out. www.spiritualityrockstv.com. That's www.spiritualityrockstv.com. And remember, if you would like to reach us, you can check us out on Facebook, Spirituality Rocks TV. And if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Guiding Light Foundation at Post Office Box 472, we're happy to send you these affirmation cards. I want to thank my in-studio guest, the Reverend Cheryl Mchunguzi. You can check Cheryl out by Unity Hunting, New York. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was a great show. Thanks so much.
Brad Fratensky, Dr. Nanae Chung with HEALS School of One. That's HEALS-schoolofone.com. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
And remember to tune in next week, same time, same place. We're coming from Madhouse Studios in Deer Park, Long Island, New York. Thank you for joining us on, you ready?
Yes.
Spirituality Rocks.